Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very stormy and windy Steubenville, Ohio. For the past 45 minutes or so, I've been trying to stay ahead of a rather angry thunderstorm. But now it looks like it's finally caught up with me here at the Union Cemetery in Steubenville. But thank goodness, the person that I'm here to visit is resting in the mausoleum, and I should be able to stay out of the weather for the most part. Hopefully, that'll be true. Union Cemetery was founded in 1854 and is the final resting place of several generations of area residents. Located at the top of the hill is the New Chapel Mausoleum, which opened in 1995. It is inside this small chapel that we find the crypt of a man who brought sports betting and gambling to the national forefront. So, let's get out of the wind and rain and walk inside and visit the crypt of George Snyder Sr., better known simply as Jimmy the Greek. Jimmy the Greek Snyder was born on September 6, 1918, here in Steubenville, Ohio. Growing up in this bustling steel town, young Jimmy was known as that Greek kid by those in his neighborhood. Jimmy the Greek became the name by which he would be most recognized for the rest of his life. During the early years of his life, Jimmy faced several personal challenges. At age 9, he contracted polio, which left him with a noticeable limp for the rest of his life. Despite these difficulties, he developed a keen interest in sports, especially baseball and football, and he also displayed an early aptitude for numbers and probabilities. Jimmy's fascination with numbers led him to the world of gambling at a young age. In Steubenville, where betting on sports was woven into the local culture, he learned the basics of wagering at the family's restaurant. By the time he reached adulthood, he had established himself as a local bookmaker and began making a pretty good living betting on sports. Jimmy's reputation for picking winners quickly grew, and by the late 1940s and early 1950s, Jimmy had transitioned from a small-time bookie to running a large-scale betting operation, which eventually led him to move to Las Vegas, Nevada. There, he not only bet on games, but also began creating betting lines, a skill that would make him a lot of money and make him famous. In Las Vegas, Jimmy's star continued to rise. He became known for his expertise in setting odds, particularly for professional football games. Jimmy's connection in the sports and entertainment industry grew, and he became a well-known figure on the Las Vegas Strip. By the 1960s and 70s, his weekly football picks were syndicated in newspapers across the country, making him a national celebrity for sports fans and gamblers alike. Jimmy the Greek achieved mainstream fame when he joined CBS Sports and became a regular on the NFL Today beginning in 1976. Alongside Brent Musburge, Herb Cross, and Phyllis George, Jimmy added a new element to the pregame show: betting analysis and point spreads. At a time when gambling was still taboo in the mainstream sports broadcasting industry, his presence on the show was not only revolutionary, but very popular. On the air, Jimmy was known for his folksy style, his thick accent, and his ability to break down games in a way that appealed to both serious bettors and casual fans. His weekly predictions became a staple for viewers, and his colorful personality helped the show become one of the most popular sports programs in television history. Despite his success, Jimmy's broadcasting career was not without controversy. In 1988, he made remarks in a television interview regarding the racial differences among athletes, comments that were widely criticized as insensitive and inappropriate. The fallout from these comments led to his dismissal from CBS, marking a sudden and dramatic end to his broadcasting career. The incident overshadowed much of his previous legacy, and Jimmy spent his latter years largely out of the spotlight, only appearing for an occasional interview and a few public events. He never returned to broadcasting. Jimmy was known as a generous man to his friends and strangers alike, but he also struggled with the vices that often accompanied the gambling culture. Bouts of alcoholism, financial ups and downs, and the relentless stress of staying ahead of the competitive field. But through it all, Jimmy the Greek remained a very popular figure in the Las Vegas area, where he lived the rest of his life. Jimmy the Greek Snyder passed away on April 21st, 1996 in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the age of 77. His passing marked the end of an era for sports betting and broadcasting. Despite the controversy that ended his television career, Jimmy's influence on the sports world remains significant. He is credited with helping bring sports betting into the national conversation and laying the groundwork for the acceptance of gambling analysis in the sports media. Even today, Jimmy's pioneering work is still relevant. From the sound of things outside, it appears the storm that was chasing me earlier has caught up with me. So I'm going to end this video here and head back outside into the wind and rain. But before I do, please remember, life is a wonderful journey. Be sure to take time and enjoy it. And I'll see you down the road. So long, everybody.